This is its financial history too, where money's past reveals tomorrow's truth. Most people think MK Ultra is just a conspiracy theory, a fog of internet rumors, LSD myths, and late-night YouTube rabbit holes. But the real story isn't a conspiracy. It's evidence, documented, verified, and far more terrifying than the legends. Because MK Ultra wasn't about madness. It wasn't about paranoia. It wasn't even about mind control. It was about something much more familiar and much more profitable, the economics of influence. Welcome to Theit's Financial History 2, the place where money, power, and history collide, and where nothing is ever as simple as it seems. To understand MK Ultra, you have to understand the world that created it. Go back to the early 1950s. The global economy wasn't yet global, but fear absolutely was. The Korean War had ended. American POs returned home speaking like someone had rewired their minds. Rumors spread that the Soviets were experimenting with hypnosis, China with ideological re-education, and propaganda was becoming as dangerous as artillery. The Cold War wasn't just fought with bombs. It was fought with belief. Inside CIA headquarters, one idea took hold, a cold, calculated one. If you can shape how people think, you can shape what they do. And if you can shape what they do, you can shape the world. In 1953, CIA Director Allen Dulles approved a project that looked like research, acted like a covert operation, but functioned like an investment portfolio. MK Ultra? Over the next 2 decades, MK Ultra grew into 149 documented subprojects, and likely many more erased forever. Money flowed through fake foundations, front organizations, and elite universities that believed they were receiving harmless research grants. In truth, they were being folded into one of the most unethical intelligence programs ever attempted. The methods ranged from reckless to horrifying: high-dose LSD without consent, sensory deprivation, hypnosis, electroshock, repatterning, psychological breakdown, isolation, and personality erasure. Morality didn't matter. Only results mattered. But here's the part most people never understand. MK Ultra wasn't only about control. It was about economics. Because beneath the secrecy lay a belief that human behavior could be engineered, and that engineered behavior could shift power across governments, markets, and entire economic systems. At the same time, in the public world, corporations were running their own experiments. Madison Avenue was rewriting advertising psychology. The consumer economy was exploding, and companies wanted to know: what makes people choose? What makes them loyal? How do you guide their decisions? 2 worlds, one covert, one commercial, were chasing the same goal: behavioral control. MK Ultra created an entire shadow research economy. Universities were funded, pharmaceutical companies supplied chemicals, hospitals received grants, and professors were quietly asked to ignore ethics in favor of progress. This wasn't random. This was incentive. Wherever influence could be sold, money rushed in. And MK Ultra's most infamous subprojects show exactly how far they went. Project Midnight Climax, CIA-run safe houses in San Francisco, and New York, where sex workers secretly dosed clients with LSD while agents watched from behind mirrored glass. Subproject 68 in Montreal, Dr. Ewan Cameron's attempt to erase and rebuild personalities using LSD, extreme electroshock and taped messaging. Experiments on prisoners, soldiers, patients, and students, almost none of whom ever gave consent. These weren't experiments. They were investments in behavioral leverage, the ultimate economic resource. As you zoom out, the picture becomes clear. The techniques of MK Ultra and the techniques of advertising, marketing, and persuasion were evolving side by side. One used secrecy, the other used strategy, both shaped behavior. So when MK Ultra was shut down in 1973, or at least officially shut down, it wasn't because morality suddenly appeared. It was because the program became a political risk. Congress had begun uncovering intelligence abuses. The CIA destroyed most of the MK Ultra files in a single order. Only a few stray documents survived because they were misfiled. But even though the program died, the knowledge didn't, the incentives didn't, the idea didn't. MK Ultra was a primitive prototype. The real evolution happened in the public sphere, through behavioral psychology, behavioral economics, and eventually technology. Kahneman and Tversky's work proved humans are irrational, biased, emotional, and easily nudged. Corporations began building persuasion engines. Governments began designing public nudges. Financial institutions started modeling fear, risk, and confidence. And then the internet arrived, and everything changed. What the CIA tried to force through drugs, Silicon Valley achieved through data. Platforms discovered the power of voluntary surveillance. Billions of people willingly feeding algorithms the raw material of influence, their attention. Modern tech companies don't need to control your mind. They just need to control your feed. The intelligence world studies disinformation. The corporate world studies engagement. Political campaigns study persuasion. Hedge funds study behavioral volatility. All of them chase the same prize, predictable behavior. Which brings us to the core insight: MKUltra didn't predict the future. It foreshadowed it. Today, the most valuable resource on Earth isn't oil or gold, it's attention, belief, and behavior. Influence has become an industry, a marketplace, a trillion-dollar economy, and MKUltra is the uncomfortable ancestor of that world. Its final lesson is simple: the most powerful currency isn't money, it's consent. And the battle for consent happens long before anyone touches a market, casts a vote, or buys a product. If this gave you a new way of seeing history, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned. Because history has the answers, and I'll show you where to find them.